First, I was suffering from delirium. I had memory problems to such an extent I could not remember why I was in the ICU.
That sounds terrifying. Time out, Bald A-hole here, and if you have watched many of my videos, you know that I get a little bit of a bee in my bonnet about caffeine. I get it, you go, oh, shut up, Dad, you're 100% correct. But I just think sometimes, because it's so easily available, people think they can just chug it and chug it and chug it and be okay, when really, you do have a limit with this stuff, and caffeine, when you break it right down, well, it is a drug. However, of course, it's not just caffeine that is in these energy drinks, there's a bunch of other stuff, and as the video we're about to go through today will show you, we don't really know what the deal is. The video is called A Student Drank 2 Liters of Energy Drinks a Day. This is what happened to his heart. It is by Midlife Crisis, so thank you very much to him, and I found it so fascinating, I had so much to say about it, I thought, well, we can do one of those videos.
But this video isn't about sugar, it's about whether the whole list of ingredients in energy drinks has got risks. Right now, the long-term effects of these drinks are not well known. A 21-year-old university student and keen gamer, previously entirely well, presented to hospital with 4 months of shortness of breath on exertion, weight loss, and something called orthopnea, which is breathlessness when you lie flat.
So it is absolutely terrifying. Right now, of course, you can say, well, we don't know whether this was from the energy drink, we don't know whether this was something he already had in his system, or whether it was genetic, blah, blah, blah. But I'm going to assume that there are things in the energy drinks that can do this to you, as can caffeine. Again, I've seen reports, I should say, of people's hearts basically exploding, not literally, and them having to go to hospital because it just can't handle the sheer energy, I suppose, that it's getting from an external source.
His creatinine was 562, urea 48, and he required bilateral nephrostomies for urinary obstruction.
And all of that basically means his kidneys were going nuts, right? It's kind of a thing within bodybuilding, because sometimes you get your bloods done and some of your kidney levels can be off the charts, but sometimes it can be related to a hard workout session you've done. Of course, you're probably taking creatine and that can muck around with it too. Look, I know some people are going to say, Simon, that's not the correct science. I get it, right? I'm not trying to preach. I would say always go out there and make sure you research and read and educate yourself. But that's basically what's happening here. Something's happened to his kidneys. He's storing fluid. Not normal for a dude that's basically still in his 20s.
This is his heart on admission. With every beat, only 9% of the blood inside the heart was being ejected forwards. And what's worse, both ventricles, the main pumping chambers, had blood clots inside them, which only happens when cardiac function is so catastrophically bad that blood moves so slowly that it actually clots.
That is terrifying. 9%, and he had blood clots. Because his heart had basically gone, you know what, I'm going to go to sleep. I mean, you're essentially dead at that level. I don't want to be too over-exaggeration gator here, but you're 9% and blood clots, I would be absolutely terrified. And I tell you what else. One day, obviously, we're all going to clock out of this life. I don't want to clock out because I drank too many energy drinks.
Indeed, he did suffer strokes, both from the clots, but also from his heart just not being able to generate enough pressure to get blood to his brain, so you get something called a hypoperfusion infarct, a stroke caused by a lack of blood.
It's terrifying, right? His heart couldn't get enough blood to his brain, so he suffered a stroke. And again, I'll always say, because I understand what the comments do, oh, we don't know whether it ties into the energy drink. Do you want to risk it? And also, other people will go, 2 litres a day, that's a lot. I would never drink 2 litres a day. 1 can of Monster is 500 millilitres. So you've only got to slam 4 of them. I know people that drink 4 energy drinks in a day, and I think it's absolutely crazy, but again, it's their life. They have to do whatever the hell they want.
And clearly caffeine is available in lots of different forms and lots of different drinks, and yet it seems not to be implicated in people's heart failures, by and large, for the most part. Whether there is something in the types of high concentration or, particular other ingredients, it may, have something unique that contributes. But again, this is such a rare phenomenon.
So that's interesting too. This other guy's actually come in there and he's almost defending energy drinks. Defending is not the right word, but he's not like, oh man, death to all energy drinks. And I suppose that's what I wanted to get out of this video, mostly myself too, was that of course you should be able to drink energy drinks, but you also have to accept how it does affect you. Now, I can't believe this guy hadn't had some side effects leading up to this catastrophic event. What was that? This catastrophic event, right? Usually there are some markers, there are some hints, there is some evidence, and we ignore them as humans because we go, oh, that's just something I haven't got to worry about it because we all think we're going to live forever, which I say is not true. But that's the most important thing. It's the same with creatine, something we've already mentioned. The same with pre-workout. The same with anything you're putting in your body. Just because you've read a Reddit thread that said it's going to be seriously safe doesn't mean that it's safe when it comes to your body. People die of nut stuff all the time, and it doesn't make any sense. Do not forget, people out there have a nut allergy. Imagine we didn't know about nut allergies, right? And I said, oh, look, I can eat all these nuts, but this person, if I give them a nut, they're going to die. You'd be like, you're the weirdest person ever. That's just how systems work. That's just how bodies work. So if you are drinking a lot of energy drinks and it's making you feel crap, Just stop drinking the energy drinks.
And my suspicion is there may be some sort of unfortunate individuals that carry a genetic predisposition where caffeine over a certain threshold, if it is caffeine or some substance in high amounts, may predispose to changes in the heart or structural changes in the heart that may be related to overactivation of the sympathetic nervous system.
And there you go. I think I suffer from that. Not to this level, but people never believe me, and that's fine. You don't have to. I'm just a random guy on the internet. If I have too much caffeine, I get a ton of side effects that nobody else talks about. Maybe I have this genetic thing. Maybe he just made it up. Maybe it's a lie, but it certainly makes me go, oh, interesting, because I've been there.
So I think I'd like them to be aware that there are these rare cases out there, and the consequences that have happened to such individuals like the patient I'm looking after have been quite serious. So to know that an excess of intake every day could potentially cause some unlucky individuals some serious life-changing harm would be, something worth being aware of. With that said, it seems by moderating the amount of intake, and it's very much like many things in life.
Moderation. That's always a word. How many times you hear it? How many times you get bored by it? Oh, moderation. But that's the key. Same with everything. Even going to the gym, moderation. Sometimes you got to slam it, of course, but sometimes you've also got to take your foot off the brake. And I totally understand why people do get addicted to Monster or Red Bull or whatever the hell it would be, because it's right there. You stop at a petrol station, you stop at whatever, it's just looking at you going, oh my gosh, get this nice energy kick. Same with coffee. Coffee's like not a popular thing to do. It's like a social thing to do. Oh, let's go out and get a coffee. And you sit there and you have the same conversation, but all of a sudden you're just drinking this drug. And you should do that. It's lovely. It's delicious. But just don't go nuts.
When I was drinking up to 4 energy drinks per day, I suffered from tremors and heart palpitations, which interfered with my ability to concentrate on daily tasks and my studies at university. I also suffered from severe migraine headaches, which would often occur during the periods when I did not drink energy drink.
Right, so there you go, right? We get the stuff at the end with the patient himself who says, yes, I was suffering from side effects. So always listen to your body. And I mean that in all walks of life. Even if sometimes you go to the gym. Now, I'm not talking about when you don't want to go to the gym and you drag your ass down there and you have a workout anyway. But if you're actually in the gym and you're hurting or you have some pains and your brain's really going, you need to go home, just go home. Even if you're in the middle of the workout, especially when you injure yourself. Too many times people injure themselves or they have nicks or tweaks and they think, oh, I'll keep going. I'll work through the pain because you think you're a big tough guy. But there's no point. That happens on a Monday. It just means on Tuesday, whatever injury you have done to yourself is going to be worse. Whereas if you just stop it right there, go home, ice it, rice, rest, ice, compression, elevation, and do all of that, you're on it right away, and it probably means you can go back to the gym in a few days as opposed to waiting 2 weeks.
First, I was suffering from delirium. I had memory problems to such an extent I could not remember why I was in the ICU.
That sounds terrifying. That's enough to put me off energy drinks for life. I don't really take them anyway. But don't forget, pre-workout energy drinks aren't too far away from each other. And who the flub is giving a child an energy drink? I saw a child with a coffee the other day. I mean, give it a few years.
Our patient made a slow recovery and thankfully didn't require kidney nor heart transplantation. And he eventually went home 2 months after being admitted to hospital.
So we didn't need anything major, but 2 months. 2 months in a hospital. I've been in hospital for like 2 days and it was 2 months. After 2 months, oh my gosh, I'll be going mad.
Now, I don't want to give the impression that energy drinks are inherently bad. Like Andy said, everything in moderation. I don't think you should feel guilty eating any particular food or drinking any drink, except maybe if you stole it. But highly processed food items like these drinks or something that's very high in sugar should be occasional treats. And if that's the case, they're probably no more dangerous than any other carbonated drink or caffeinated drink.
Boom. Nice message to end it. That was a bit like a PSA from Saved by the Bell, but I do agree with him. Not that that means anything to this man, but I just do. I think it's way too easy to get addicted to this stuff and way too easy just to throw yourself into this stuff. And I understand completely that this is the exception rather than the rule. But if there's any kind of exception out there, I don't even want to put myself in a position where I could be that guy. Now, please do like the video, share the video, and subscribe. Hit the bell, ding ding. So you know when other videos are going live, there is another video on the screen. Please do give it a click. Come say hello on Patreon, on Twitter. I'm at SimonMiller316, patreon.com/SimonMiller316 if you want to support me there. SimonMiller.BigCartel.com for merchandise. I'm in Grade Research's brand new cookbook, link in the description below. Also on Cameo, if you would like me to yell at you, I can do that too. But otherwise, you have a terrific day, and I'll see you soon.